Students, in my last video I have explained you what is Cartesian product and I have explained you what is a relation, right? Just to revise, if you have A is equal to 1 comma 2 and B is equal to say A comma B, then you can define A cross B, that is a Cartesian product, is as 1 comma A, 1 comma B, then 2 comma A and 2 comma B. Also I told you that this represent cardinality of A, means the number of elements in A, that is 2 here, which is usually represented by M, and B is equal to 2, which is equal to N. Also I told you that cardinality of A cross B is always equal to M into N. This you can see in the previous video. You can see many examples based on that. We can also define A cross A, we can also define B cross B, and if there is another set C, we can also talk about A cross B cross C. So you should do question based on all of them. Now, relation R is a subset of A cross B, which satisfies certain property, which we have discussed in the previous video. Now, we know that how many subsets of A cross B I can make? That is a set, power set, right, which is represented by PS, and we all know that the number of subsets possible is always 2 to the power n, where n represent the number of elements in the given set. Since here it is A cross B and A cross B has m into n element, so I will write down that 2 to the power mn will give me the number of relation defined on any set. Okay, so I can say that if this is m and this is n, then number of elements in A cross B is mn, and number of relation which I can define on this A cross B is 2 to the power mn. This is what we discussed in the last video. Now we will talk about certain properties of the relation. Okay, now what is the first property? The first property is called reflexive. Now, what is the meaning of reflexive? Reflexive is A is R related to A, means the elements is related to itself. Okay, for example, if you talk about is less than or equal to is a relation, a reflexive relation on a set of all real numbers. Okay, when I am talking less than or equal to, so this is always a reflexive relation, because if I take 2, so 2 is equal to 2. So it is always 2 is R related to 2, and that is what is the reflexive, right? And another example of reflexive, what I can talk, if A is equal to say 1, 2, 3 and 4, and the relation I am defining is 1 comma 1, 2 comma 2 and 3 comma 3. Okay, if I talk like this is not a reflexive relation. Why? Because in A I have 1, 2, 3 and 4. So this relation R will be a reflexive relation. Is 1 comma 1 is there, which is there. If 2 comma 2 is there, which is there. If 3 comma 3 is there, which is there, but 4 comma 4 is missing. So if I put 4 comma 4 also here, it become the reflexive relation. Otherwise it is not reflexive relation. Understood? So this is the definition of reflexive relation. Now, the another point here is what is irreflexive, okay, or what is not reflexive. So there are two different terms. Let us talk about that. So when I say irreflexive, so any, let me write down here two, irreflexive. Now what is this irreflexive? A relation on a set A is said to be irreflexive. Okay, so any relation R defined on the set A is called irreflexive if A comma A does not belongs to R for any A belongs to A. That is, a relation R is irreflexive if no element of A is related to itself. So this example which I was giving earlier, when 4 comma 4 was not there, I cannot say that it is irreflexive, because for remaining 3 it was working. And irreflexive definitions say not even for the single element that should happen. Okay, so non-reflexive and irreflexive are different. So when I define reflexive, non-reflexive means ki all don't have. For example, when I wrote like this and 4 comma 4 was not there, it was non-reflexive. Okay, it is not reflexive, so it is non-reflexive. And irreflexive is what? For not even a single element it should happen. Okay, for example, if I say A is equal to say 1 comma 2 comma 3, and I am defining the relation R as 1 comma 2 and 2 comma 3. Okay, some relation like this. So I can say कि it is irreflexive. But if I put here 1 comma 1 along with that, then it is not irreflexive. Okay, so not even for a single element that should happen. Okay, so now come to the third one, which is called symmetric. Now what is symmetric? Symmetric means if A is R related to B, so I'll put if A is R related to B implies B is R related to A. Okay, so if A comma B belongs to R, then B comma A should also belongs to R. Okay, so now if the function is not symmetric, then it is asymmetric. Means there is a pair for which this is not happening, then it is asymmetric. For example, you take this example, if A is equal to say 1 comma 2 comma 3 and relation I am defining 1 comma 1, 2 comma 1 comma 2 and 2 comma 1. Right, another relation I am defining say 1 comma 2, 2 comma 1 and 1 comma 3. Now in the first relation R1, if you observe 1 comma 1 is there and 1 comma 1 is there, so correct. Okay, now 1 comma 2 is there, so 2 comma 1 should be there compulsory. 2 comma 1 is also there, so it is working. 2 comma 1, 1 comma 2 should be there, so 1 comma 2 is there. So this relation is symmetric. Now look at this, 1 comma 2 is there, so 2 comma 1 should be there, yes it is there. 2 comma 1 is there, so 1 comma 2 should be there, yes it is there. Now 1 comma 3 is there, so 3 comma 1 should be there, but it is not there, so this is a asymmetric relation. It is not symmetric. Okay, so this is how you will be checking the symmetric relation. Now after symmetric there is another one which is called antisymmetric. Okay, so the fourth one is antisymmetric. Now what is antisymmetric? Antisymmetric, like I spoke about irreflexive, antisymmetric also says the same thing, कि for any A comma B, B comma A should not belong to R, then only it is antisymmetric. Okay, not even for a single one it should be there. For example, is less than or equal on a set of all the real number is antisymmetric relation, because if I say A is less than or equal to B and B is less than or equal to A, then A is equal to B always. Right, so here I can tell you one more definition of antisymmetric, that this is possible only when both are equal. So that time I can say that it is antisymmetric. Okay, so it should be emphasized that asymmetric, that is not symmetric, and antisymmetric relations are not same. A relation can be both symmetric and antisymmetric. Okay, a relation can be neither symmetric nor antisymmetric. So that thing you have to take care. For example, if I talk about this relation, just look at this. If A is equal to 1 comma 2 comma 3 and R1 is equal to 1 comma 1 and 2 comma 2, correct, and R2 is equal to 1 comma 2, 2 comma 1 and 2 comma 3. Now observe carefully. If you check R1, okay, it is symmetric because for 1 comma 1, 1 comma 1 is there, for 2 comma 2, 2 comma 2 is there, and it is antisymmetric also. Why it is antisymmetric also? Because A is R related to B and B is R related to A is applicable only when A and B are same. See here, A and B are same now. Correct. So this is symmetric as well as antisymmetric. Now if you look at R2, for 1 2, 2 1 is there. For 2 3, 3 2 is not there. So it is not symmetric at all. But because for 1 2, 2 1 is there, it is not antisymmetric also. Okay, it is only asymmetric. This, because of this, it is not antisymmetric. So this is a definition of antisymmetric. Okay, so now the next thing is transitive. The next property which we have is transitive. So these are the properties of relations. Now what is transitive? Transitive says if A is R related to B and B is R related to C, then A is R related to C. So if this happens, then only it is transitive. Okay, for example, if you have the set A, which is 1, 2, 3, and the relation is 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 1, 3, and 3, 1, and 3, 2. Now look at this carefully. 1, 1 and 1, 2 are there. So 1, 2 should be there. It is there. So no issues. Now 1, 2 is there, and any other relation starting from any other pair which is ordered pair which is starting with 1 because it is ending with 1. Yes, 1, 3 is there. So 1, 3 should be there. 1, 3 is also there. Okay, then nothing else is starting with 1. So go to the second one. Now 2. 1, 2. So what is starting with 2? That I should check. So 2, 3. So 1, 3 should be there. Yes, it is there. Now anything else which is starting with 2? No, nothing is there. So that part is over. Now 2, 3. It is ending with 3. So search the thing which are starting with 3. So 3, 1. So 2, 1 should be there. 2, 1 is there? No, 2, 1 is not there. See, here I am saying 2 is R related to 3 and 3 is R related to 1. So for transitivity 2, 1 should be there. But 2, 1 is not there. So it is not a transitive relation. Okay. So because 2, 1 is not there, it is not transitive. Just check it once again. See, I have 1, 2, 2, 3. So 1, 3 should be there. Okay. Now 2, 3 is there, and then 3 is starting, 3, 1 is also there. Right? 3, 1 is also there. So 2, 1 should also be there. Then only it will become transitive. Understood? So this one is not transitive. Now let us do some question based on this. Now for some time all of you pause your video and then write down what type of relations are this, and then you cross check your answer. See, A is given as 1, 2, 3. Now I want to check R1. So I will check all the 5 relation I have spoken. I will check all. Right? So it will be reflexive if it has 1, 1, 2, 2 and 3, 3. Do I have? No, I don't have. So it is not reflexive. But actually if you observe, not even a single one is there. Neither 1, 1 nor 2, 2 nor 3, 3. So what is the another term I told when nothing is there? Irreflexive. So this is irreflexive. Because not even a single is there. Correct? Now after that we will check symmetric. So 1, 2 is there. So 2, 1 is there. 1, 3 is there. So 3, 1 is there. So it is symmetric also. Correct? Now I said it is not reflexive. Let me check transitive. So 1, 2 is there and 2, 1 is there. So 1, 1 should be there. But I can't see 1, 1. So it is not transitive. So it is not transitive. It is not reflexive also. It is irreflexive and it is symmetric. Okay. So this is how you have to check for all the relation. Now let's go to R2. If you observe R2, R2 is reflexive. Let me check. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. Yes. So it is reflexive first of all. Okay. Then let me check symmetric. For symmetric, I should have 2, 3 is there. So 3, 2 should be there, but it is not there. So it is not symmetric at all. It is asymmetric. Correct. Then let me check transitive. So for transitive, 1, 1 is there. So nothing is starting from 1. So leave it. 2, 2 and 2, 3. So 2, 3 should be there, which is there. 3, 3, nothing is starting with 3. So it is transitive also. Right. So it is transitive and reflexive. But it is not symmetric. Now, if you observe R3 and R4, so both are reflexive and symmetric. It is reflexive also, it is symmetric also. Even R4 is reflexive also, it is symmetric also. So like this, you write down for all. So now R5, if you observe, R5 is not reflexive because 2 comma 2 is not there. Correct? It is not symmetric also because 2 comma 3 is there, but 3 comma 2 is not there. Okay, it is not transitive also. So same way R6 is, this one is, R5 is neither reflexive nor symmetric. Okay, neither reflexive nor symmetric. And when I talk about transitive, 1 comma 1, but nothing is starting from 1, 2 comma 3 and 3 comma 3. So 2 comma 3 is there. Correct? And but nothing is starting with 1. So I will not talk about the transitivity because I don't have that many pairs there. Okay, nothing is starting with 3 also. Correct? So for 1 at least it is there. Now go to R6. It is transitive. It is irreflexive. And it is not symmetric. Same way R7 is irreflexive, but it is neither transitive nor symmetric. Okay, so this is how you have to do the questions. Okay, now let's see what is the next question. Okay, now let's come to this. Now on set z plus means all positive integers, a relation is defined A is R related to B if and only if A divides B exactly. Okay, for example 2 divides 6, 3 divides 6, like that. So prove that R is reflexive, transitive and antisymmetric but not symmetric. Okay, so let us start with this. First they want me to show it reflexive. Now I said A is R related to B if A divides B. Correct? Now we all know that A divides itself. This is how we write divides. A divides itself implies A is R related to A. So implies it is reflexive. Simple. Second, what they are saying? It is transitive. Transitive means A divides, A is R related to B implies A divides B. If A is dividing B means what? B is some big number, right? And B can be written as K1 of A. For example, if when I say 2 divides 6 means what? 6 is equal to 2 into 3 now. So this 3 means K. Okay. Now I am saying B is R related to C. Implies what? B divides C. Means C is a big number. So C is equal to some K2 into B. Correct. Now you want to show that A is R related to C. Means in rough you think, I want to say that A is R related to C means A divides C means C is some big number which should be written as some multiple of A. Right. So C is equal to what? K2B. But what is B? B is equal to K1A. And K1, K2 again it is an integer, so I'll write Ka. So what I got? C is equal to Ka. Means C, A divides C. Means A is R related to C. So it is transitive also. Now when they are saying कि it is antisymmetric. Antisymmetric means it is not at all possible for any pair like that. Why? Because I know that if there is a number, like if 2 divides 6, 6 cannot divide 2. Right? So if you have A is R related to B and B is R related to A, it is possible only when A is equal to B, which tell me that it is antisymmetric. So this is possible only if A is equal to B. So definitely it is not symmetric and it is antisymmetric. Okay. So this is how you have to write and explain the questions. Now let us see the another question. Now let S be a universal set. So there is some set, say S, which is a universal set, and I formed a power set. Power set means the set of all the possible subsets of S. Okay, and then I am defining a relation in R in such a way that two sets belongs to R if A is a subset of B. Okay, I have to prove that it is reflexive. Obviously, every set is a subset of itself, right? So it is definitely reflexive. So how you will write for reflexive? We know that every set is a subset of itself, so it is reflexive. Okay, then I want to prove that antisymmetric. We know that by set theory, if A is a subset of B and B is a subset of A, implies that A is equal to B. A and B are the same sets. So definitely it is antisymmetric. This is a property of antisymmetric. Okay, and symmetric it is not possible, because whenever it will happen, okay, there may be the sets. Okay, there may be the sets for which if A is contained in B, you can draw the Venn diagram and understand कि if A is inside B, doesn't mean B is inside A. This is possible only if they are equal. So they can be antisymmetric, but they cannot be symmetric at all. Okay, now when I talk about transitive, transitive is again the same thing. If A is a subset of B and B is a subset of C, then definitely A has to be the subset of C. Make a Venn diagram to understand. Okay, what I am saying, A is a subset of B. Okay, so A is inside B and B is a subset of C. So definitely A is a subset of C. So we are done transitive also. Correct? Now let's move to the next question. Now A is given and R is given. You have to verify that R is equivalence relation. Okay, so how you will start this question? Equivalence relation means first reflexive. So always have a habit. Write down the name and then you write down what is the meaning of reflexive. I will say that any relation R is reflexive if for all A belongs to A is R related to A. This is how we write mathematically. Okay, so now when I am doing this question, if you observe, A has 1, 2, 3, 4. So now you have to check for 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 3 and 4, 4. Now check, do they belong to R? 1, 1 is there, 2, 2 is there, 3, 3 is there, 4, 4 is there. Since this belongs to R, implies reflexive. So first you should write down the definition like this and then you should mention the elements. Now the second one I should prove is symmetric. Now for symmetric, what you should do, every element of R you have to pick up and you have to explain. Okay, now if I check 1, 1, for 1, 1 to 1, 1 is already there. So no issues. Now 1, 2 belongs to R. So you should check also 2, 1 is there kya? Yes, 2, 1 is there. 2, 1 belongs to R. So, okay, no issues. 2, 2 obviously it will work. 3, 4 is there, then 4, 3 should be there. So, okay. So, 3, 4 is there. Implies 4, 3 is there. And then 3, 3 and 4, 4. So, it is symmetric also. Now, the third one is transitive. So, transitive, how I'll start? 1, 1 is there. 1, 2 is also there. Implies 1, 2 is there. Yes, it is there. Whenever you will take with this type of element, you will get the same thing. So take the different one. Now 1, 2 and anything starting from 2. Yes, 2, 1. So 1, 1 should be there. So 1, 1 belongs to R. Right? Now 3, 4 and 4, 3. So 3, 3 should be there. So like that you have to check the transitive. So it is transitive also, because for all, if the relation is very big, you can always write for all A, B and B, C belongs to R, A, C belongs to R. So when you define symmetric, see reflexive, I wrote like this. Symmetric, how you should write? If A is R related to B, implies B is R related to A. For transitive, how you will write? If A is R related to B, B is R related to C, implies A is R related to C. So before doing the question, you should in one line mathematically define it. Okay. Now let's come to the next question. Again, there is a set and they have asked me to prove that it is an equivalence relation. They have asked me to check whether it is an equivalence relation. So now all of you pause it. and then do it yourself and then check. So first I am checking reflexive. So 1 comma 1 is there, 2 comma 2 is there, 3 comma 3 is there, and 4 comma 4. So yes, it is reflexive. Okay. Now I should do second one, transitive. Oh sorry, symmetric. So 1 comma 1 obviously I will not check. 1 comma 2 is there, so 2 comma 1 is there. 3 comma there is there, so 1 comma 3 is also there. 4 comma 1 is there, so 1 comma 4 should be there. Oh, 1 comma 4 is missing. So what you will write? 4 comma 1 belongs to R, but 1 comma 4 does not belong to R, implies not symmetric. And the moment you got not symmetric, directly you will say it is not a equivalence relation. No need to check transitive in this situation. Okay. Let's move to the next question now. Okay. Now see, this is a very good question. Now what they are saying, A is a set having the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 12. Okay. They are saying x comma y belongs to R if x minus y is a multiple of 5. See, you can definitely write down R here. Okay, you can define R here. It will have so many elements in it. What type of elements will be there? Ki when you are taking any ordered pair, the difference should be a multiple of 5. I'll show you the relation. Okay. And but when it comes to prove that it is an equivalence relation without writing that R also, you can do it. How you will do it? That I'll explain you. So now the first thing is reflexive. Mathematically, you should do like that. Now, what is the property of reflexive? A's are related to A. Okay. For all, A belongs to R. So now what you will do? Here, for all, A belongs to A, means for every element which is here, A minus A is equal to 0. And 0 is multiple of 5. Implies A's are related to A. Implies reflexive. Simple. This is how mathematically you write the things. Now second, it comes symmetric. Symmetric, let A comma B belongs to A. Implies, sorry, R, not A. A and B are from A, that's why A comma B is from R. Now what is the property, what is the definition of R? That x minus 5 is a multiple of 5. X minus y is a multiple of 5. So I will say A minus B is multiple of 5. Implies A minus B is some 5k. Okay, can you multiply both the side by minus? So this will become B minus A is 5 into minus k. What does it mean? It means that B minus A is multiple of 5. What does it mean? Ki B is R related to A or B comma A belongs to R. What does it mean? It means it is a symmetric relation. Easy? So this is how you have to do. Now what is the next property? Symmetric. Oh sorry, transitive. Now transitive means, first of all you should take A comma B belongs to R and B comma C belongs to R. So keep in your mind what you want to prove. You want to prove that A comma C belongs to R. This is in your mind. Huh? We are not writing in rough, you are writing for yourself. Now when I say A minus B belongs to R means what? A minus B is multiple of 5. Correct? Implies A minus B is equal to some 5k1. Same way, when I say B minus C belongs to R means B minus C is some multiple of 5. Correct? Now I want to bring this into picture. A minus C. So what I'll do, I'll write just A minus C. Can I write A minus C as A minus B plus B minus C? Plus B and minus B I have done. Of course I can do. Now what is a minus b? It is 5k1 plus 5k2. So this is 5k1 plus k2. This is equal to 5 of k. So what I got? A minus c is equal to 5k. Implies a minus c is some multiple of 5. Implies A's are related to C. Implies it is transitive. Simple, very important question and very easy question. Okay. Now let's do the next question. This type of question, this method you can apply if I say that x comma y belongs to R, if their sum is even. That type of way questions also same way I can do. Even means multiple of 2. Okay. Now come to this question. Now A is union of A1, A2, A3. A1 is defined, A2 is defined, A3 is defined. Now define a relation R on A by X is R related to Y if X and Y are in the same set AI. Okay. Means any ordered pair will belong to R only if both the elements belong to the same set, either A1 or A2 or A3. Okay. I need to check whether it is an equivalence relation or not. Let me start. Equivalence relation means I should start with reflexive. Okay, now when I am saying reflexive means A is R related to A. Right? And what type of elements I have in this? Define the relation on A, then X is R related to Y when they are in the same set. So now, simple concept. If I take any number, any element, say 1. So obviously 1 will belong to the same set. So I can say for all A belongs to A. Okay, A is R related to A because it will definitely belong to the same set. Correct? So it will always belong to AI. So reflexive is not an issue at all. Now come to symmetric. You can see like this also. If 1 is belonging to A1, definitely 1 will belong to A1. 2 is belonging, 2 will belong. 3 is belonging, 3 will belong. Like that. Now what is symmetric? Symmetric is if A is R related to B, implies B should be R related to A. Means if 1 comma 2 belongs to your relation, then 2 comma 1 should also belongs. So this is also very clear कि if I am saying 1 and 2 are there, so 2 and 1 will always be there. If 2, 3 are there, 3 and 2 will also be there in A2. 3, 4 are there, 4, 3 will be in A2. Okay. So in this case, what I can say? Yes, symmetric is also possible here. Now last one is the transitive. Now what is transitive? If A is R related to B, B is R related to C, then A is R related to C. So it is critical. Let me check this. Now if I am saying 1 comma 2, okay, or you just observe it like this, 1 comma 2 belongs to relation means 1 and 2 are in the same set. Okay, now 2 comma 3. So 1 comma 2 is there in relation. 2 comma 3 is also in relation because they belong to the same set. So do 1 comma 3 belongs to the same set? So if I check A1, no, 1 and 3 are not there. If I check A2, 1 and 3 are not there. If I check A3, 1 and 3 are not there. So this cannot belong to the relation, which fails the condition that it is transitive. And once it is not transitive, my work is done. It is not an equivalence relation. So it is not equivalence relation. Okay. Now let's move to the next question quickly. Now it is very, very important question. Okay. Now let me check what exactly they are saying. For any fixed integer n greater than 0, prove that the relation congruent modulo n is an equivalence relation on set of all the integers. So first, what exactly is congruent modulo n? See, when you write like this is A congruent B modulo n. This is how I read A congruent B modulo n, and it means that A minus B is divisible by n. So I can say that n divides A minus B. Or I can also say when A is divided by n, the remainder is B. To understand this in detail, you can check my playlist where I have explained modular arithmetic. Okay, so now I need to prove that this relation is your equivalence relation. The moment I say that n divides a minus b is divisible by n, in that case what is the exactly is the meaning? A minus b is multiple of n. So a congruent b modulo n means a minus b is multiple of n. Multiple means what? 6, 12, like that. Okay. So now how I will say a minus b is equal to sum kn. Right? Now I will start. This is a definition of a congruent b. So what exactly is a congruent b? The moment I am writing a congruent b is mod n, means a minus b is some multiple of n and a minus b is equal to kn. Okay. Now I have to prove that it is equivalence relation. So first thing is what? Reflexive. So for reflexive, first you write down the definition. Then you say a is r, a minus a is what? It is 0, implies it is multiple of n, implies a congruent a mod n, implies a is r related to a, implies reflexive. Correct? Second is symmetric. Now the moment I am saying a is r related to b, implies what? A congruent b mod n, means a minus b is equal to sum kn. Okay, so b minus a is also some say n into minus k, implies b is congruent to a mod n, implies b is r related to a. So means it is symmetric also. Let's do the third one, transitive. This is also same as x minus y is multiple of 5. That is the same thing. There it was 5, here it is n. So now if a is r related to b and b is r related to c, a is r related to b means what? Mod n, means a minus b is equal to k1n, and here b is congruent to c mod n, or b minus c is equal to some k2n. Correct? What is my target? I am targeting for a and c. So a minus b can be written as, a minus c can be written as a minus b plus b minus c, which is equal to k1n plus k2n, which is equal to kn. K1 plus k2 is capital K. So a congruent c mod n. So a is r related to c. So transitive. Given a is r related to b is r related to c, I got a is r related to c. Okay, so it is transitive also, right? So this is all about the equivalence relation and properties of relation, and this is how usually they ask the question. We show that given relation is equivalence relation. Okay, so now subscribe my channel so that whenever I'll upload a new video, you will get the notification, and please share as much as possible, and I really appreciate your support. And if you have any doubt and any topic which is not clear to you, let me know so that I will upload a video which is very each and every step I'll explain properly if you are getting difficulty in any particular topic. In my next video, I will talk about the partition and equivalence classes. Thank you.